Chapter 17. The Date. Just as they were finishing dinner, Jaren entered the tavern and went up to the bar. Shinfia, upon seeing him, "Well, look who just came in. Shall we go have our little date together?" Latia, "Oh yes. Here's hoping he has information and will share. Wish us luck, boys." Jack, "Good luck, girls. Hope when he realizes that he's not getting what he thinks he's getting, that he's a gentleman and not a jerk." Everyone nodded in agreement, but the girls assured them all that they'd be fine, saying how he'll know fairly soon, as they do not want, in any way, to lead him on. Interestingly, an hour later, both girls were still sitting at the bar with Jaren, one on either side, and they appeared to all be having a good time. The guys saw Jaren putting his arms on them at times, and they also showed him affection back. Jack, "If I didn't know them, I'd swear that man was going to have his dream night. I wonder what they're saying to each other." Lightmane, "Well, based on my time that I've spent with both of them, I would guess that they've been completely honest with him right from the start, but also told him that they would very much enjoy spending the evening together, talking and getting to know each other, and also showing affection, but that it would not lead to anything else. My guess is that once they made that perfectly clear to him, he decided that it would be better to have a fun evening of talking and drinking and showing affection with two beautiful women than nothing at all." Jack, thinking that over, "That sounds like a fairly good assessment. I feel like we're all their brothers, just sitting here watching over them, making sure they're safe." Phileas, "That's nice, though as a gnome, I don't feel the brotherly love for them that you do. I just see two good female friends of mine that I'm grateful to know. I am quite a lucky gnome to have such good friends as them." Then turning to the guys, "And you all too, of course." Lightmane then noticed that they were deep in conversation with Jaren. "It looks like he's sharing some information. They seem to be very interested in what he's telling them." Lightmane saw Shinfia glance over at them, but then continued with their conversation. Time passed. "Well, boys, it's getting late. Hopefully they'll be coming back over here soon." After just a few more minutes, all three got up from the bar and came over to their table. Jaren was between them, and they all had their arms around each other and were smiling. Shinfia grabbed a chair from another table, and all three sat down. Jaren, "I just want to come over here and say hi to all of you again, and to thank you all for allowing me to spend such a wonderful evening with your two lovely friends here. I am grateful to have met them, and hope the information I've shared with them will be beneficial to you all. I'd consider joining you, if I wasn't the corporal of the watch. If I acquire any more information, though, I'll be sure to let you know. That is, the next time we go on another date, of course." Latia, "Well, that's a date that we'll gladly go on with you. Jaren believes that the intelligence behind these attacks is nothing more than bandits, working with orcs and goblins and kobolds too, maybe. And based on what he said, we agree. But someone also told him one time that they saw a giant." Nightwind, his eyes lit up. "Giants? Here? I think if there were giants, everyone would have heard about them by now." Shinfia, "That's what we said. Jaren didn't believe him either, so I'm sure it's nothing." Jaren, "And don't forget about the rest. There's apparently a bunch of lizard men who live in the swamp just south of the river, and beyond that is a large grove of tamarack trees that some have said is the home to many evil and dangerous creatures. So I'd be very careful if you go that way. Then, of course, there's that strange little hermit to the north, but they'll tell you all about it. If you can take out the bandits, I believe this will all go away. But ladies, sadly, I must head home now. Thank you again for a very pleasant and enjoyable evening. You've done more for me than you know. Jaren then kissed them both on the cheek and hugged them, said goodbye to everyone, and headed out. Jack: now girls, this is just a guess on my part, but I have an odd feeling here. Hear me out. I believe that you both got a little information out of Jaren. I know, you're probably wondering what would make me feel that way. Hey, call it a hunch. Everyone just started laughing. Shinfia: oh my goodness, Jack, he's such a nice guy. But at first we were like, oh no, he's just looking for a cheap thrill, and as soon as he realizes that's not happening, he's going to get angry and just get up and leave. But instead, he just sat there and listened to us. He did seem a little disappointed at first, but then he kind of just accepted it, and I think decided to just enjoy the evening with us. At this point, all the guys looked at Lightmane, to which Shinfia said, what? Jack: I wish I could have written down what Lightmane said. I would so love to read it back to you right now. Basically, he said that he thought Jaren would do what you just said he did, and that the three of you would have a great time tonight. Latia: we did. We just love how you men, well, the humans among us anyway, always put up this tough image, but underneath, you're almost just like us girls. You're weak and vulnerable and insecure too. I find it so funny how so many men are intimidated by girls, like Shin and I, who are physically strong like most men are, yet still feminine. I really think we intimidate you guys, but I think all pretty girls do. But when you get right down to it, men want the same thing women want, which is unconditional love. Someone they can trust completely. Someone who will love them for who they are, no matter what. I think, in that way at least, we are all basically the same. Nightwind: Latia, when you say men are weak, like women are, you're not referring to physical strength then, are you? Even though most women are physically weaker than men. And did you also just say that women are insecure? I'm a little confused. Shinfia interjected. Let me see if I can address that, Latia. The short answer is yes. Though Latia and I are physically strong, which I agree can intimidate some men, Jaren didn't seem intimidated by it at all. I'd say he was attracted to it. By weak, though, we mean vulnerable, insecure. But that's not even right, for I'd say all of us here are very secure, yet we still all have our own insecurities, whether we'll admit it or not. The weakness, and correct me if I'm wrong, Latia, is the false persona that we put up at times. It's basically a self-defense mechanism. Women, who on average aren't as strong as men, don't feel the need to put up that false picture like most men do, though some women certainly do. Latia: yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say. People hear words like weak or insecure and get offended so easily. But it's not offensive. It's what we are, which is why we sometimes get offended. The fact that we get offended by such words only makes my point for me. If you're not insecure or weak, then why are my words making you angry? Latia smiled, and then everyone else started smiling too. Belfin: boy, I'm sure glad I'm not a human. Saying that made some of them laugh. Oh, don't get me wrong, halflings have our own issues too. Doesn't everyone? Phileas: yes, but each race is unique in that regard. For instance, as a gnome, I have zero sexual interest in females who aren't gnomes, and with gnomes, our sex interest is almost non-existent, except for with our wife or wives. Tenneth: I'm sorry, did you just say wives? Phileas: yes, I did. It's not uncommon for a gnome to have more than one wife. Nightwind: dwarves never have more than one wife, and have none of the sexual hang-ups that humans have. Humans find it bizarre that their beautiful women couldn't get us dwarves in bed if they tried. At that, Nightwind let out a belly laugh, and everyone joined in. Lightmane: Well, here's to our differences. I believe my life is much richer because I have friends from every race in Forestera. Well, except half-orcs, since I've yet to meet one that I like. Hopefully that'll change one day. I don't mean to change the topic of all this sex talk. At Lightmane's words, everyone tried not to laugh. But I'm intrigued by what Jaren said about the bandits, the lizardmen, the tamarack trees, and of course, the hermit. It sounds like we have several options again, just like we did when we first gathered in Duran. Jack. Well, Lightmane, let me just add something quick, and then we'll continue with those options. Girls, I am really impressed by both of you, and to what you just said, Latia, and you too, Shin. Some would take issue with your words, might even get mad at you. In other words, they'd be offended by what you said. I think that, in and of itself, said it all. I'm really glad that I know that I can come to you girls and talk to you about anything. And then Jack immediately corrected himself. Well, let's not get carried away here. I can come to talk to you about most things, and for that I am very grateful. Latia and Shin both got up, walked over to Jack, and hugged and kissed him. Latia, Jack, even though I'm 8 years older than you, I still look at you like you're my big brother. Shinfia, me too, Jack. All of you. You guys are all my brothers, and I love you with all my heart. Never forget that. Jack, not being able to ignore it. You just see me as your big brother because I look much older than you. I'm a 39-year-old man. You're a 47-year-old half-elf. That's like what, maybe a 25-year-old looking human? Latia, yeah, right around there, she said, laughing. But Lightmane is right. Let's talk about our options. I think we should see if we can find this hermit creature. He sounds quite interesting. Nightwind, why? We're supposed to be finding where the attacks down the East Road are coming from. Shouldn't we go investigate there? Shinfia, speaking of the East Road, Jaren also said that some have said there's a valley in the woods somewhere east or northeast of here, and some say there's caves there, and that's where the monsters live who are attacking people. Jack, wow, you girls acquired a lot of information. Latia, I know. We got really lucky. He also said that this little hermit creature has lived in the woods just north of here for many years. So if anyone knows where that valley is, he might. Jaren said that he's come to the keep sometimes and buys food and stuff. Jaren never saw him, though, but others say they did. Some believe he's dangerous. Some believe he's harmless, while others think he's crazy. Jack, okay, I vote that tomorrow morning we look around the keep first and get a feel for the place, and then, unless something else comes up, we go north and try to find him. Everyone agreed and went up to their rooms and went to sleep. The night was uneventful. No one heard any howling. The next morning, though, some changes had taken place. Teneth. Well, everyone, I've reached the next progression as a cleric. I just received another first-level spell, so I decided to take Curse, which is the opposite of Bless. Just so you all know, I did this for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm assuming we still have the blessing of the shrine working for us. And 2, because making it a little harder for our enemies to hit us in combat, and making them a little more susceptible to our spells, just seems like the best option. Jack. Gee, that sounds like a really good spell. Why didn't you take it before? Were you not able to? Teneth. No, I could have, but I chose Protection from Evil instead. Not sure which is better. We'll see how it goes. Belfin. My rogue skills have slightly increased too, but that was a few days ago. I guess I should have told you all. Sorry about that. Shinfia. I've noticed a slight progression in my monk abilities as well. I'm pretty excited about it. Nightwind. Mine have as well. It's interesting how we just sort of feel it. My mentor tried to explain to me how it would feel. I didn't understand, so he just said, "You'll just know, you'll see." Then boy, was he right. So I guess this is called the second progression. Jack. What was the first? Nightwind. Becoming what you are. Jack. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. There was that time that I couldn't cast spells, and then one day I could. So that was me achieving the first progression of a wizard then. Cool. Press the digitator. Latia. Say what? Press, huh? Lightmane. When you become a wizard, you are referred to as a prestidigitator. It's just a fancy name for wizard, basically. Clerics are called acolytes. Tenneth, yes, and now I'm called an adept. Jack, really? So you're adept at being a cleric, I take it. Tenneth put his hand on his head and groaned. Jack just grinned. Jack, did anyone else reach the second progression of their craft? I haven't yet, he said with a frown. Latia, well, we multi-class people progress slower, since we're progressing in 2 different skill sets, so I'm pretty sure that's everybody for now. What do you all say we go outside and walk around the keep and see what all is here? Did you notice those private apartments that we walked by last evening? I bet they're quite expensive to rent. Wonder if anyone's there. Maybe we can check them out before we leave. Tenneth, we should stop at the temple, and the market square is right outside the inn here, so we might as well check it out since we're here. Shinfia, oh yes, Jaren also told us that only guests and personnel are allowed in the back half of the keep. He went over the whole area with us. There are stables where we came in, a warehouse, a smith, 2 general stores, and a money exchanger. Oh, and of course the temple. This keep sounds like a miniature version of our village. I already prefer our village, since it's in a forest, but let's look around and see what we find. The party went outside into the market square and saw a large fountain in the center with lots of small booths everywhere. Lots of people were shopping and talking. This was clearly the hub of the keep, where for merchants and visitors alike. No one remembered seeing the fountain when they came here yesterday, though, so they assumed it must be turned off somehow at night. Latia, maybe they want it quiet so they can better hear if the Minotaur howls during the night. Jack, ha! Funny. Wow, look at this place. It appears to be divided up into different sections. Look, this area must be the fish market, and over here is clothing and stuff. What's this? Candles, torches, okay, and this appears to be the religious area. The clerics gave it away, he said, smiling. Then we've got food, and then supplies and goods. Fun. Shinfia, so fish aren't food? Jack, what? Shinfia pointed out how the fish market area was in a different area than the food market area. Jack, guess they chose to separate them for whatever reason. Maybe so everything doesn't smell like fish. But I don't think there's anything we need here. As Jack was saying that, he noticed that Tenneth was talking to some clerics. One looked to be of higher rank than the others. Slowly, the party gathered over by Tenneth. Tenneth, hey guys, this is Jarlin, priest of Suez, and these are 2 acolytes who are under vows of silence. I've heard of such a practice. You said it's until they've achieved the second progression, yes? Jarlin, that is correct, Tenneth. But my, what a wonderful-looking party of adventurers you've teamed up with. Well, here's hoping that you're the party that we've been looking for. I've tried to get others to join us, to seek out this evil that plagues us, but most are too afraid to venture forth down the east road. Can't say I blame them, though. Goblins and orcs and such have filled people with fear and dread for many generations. Latia, priest of Suez? I'm not familiar. Oh, I'm Latia, by the way. Nice to meet you, Jarlin. Jarlin, the pleasure is all mine, my dear. My, what a lovely-looking woman you are. Then he noticed Shinfia. As are you, miss. Shinfia. Shinfia's the name, and thank you. My, your attire is quite impressive-looking. Jarlin. Yes, it is. Thank you. Suez is known as the great god of beauty, power, and glory. He is called the Playful One. Latia. Ooh, I like that. Jarlin. The all-knowing, the watchful eye, the almighty one. Nightwind, whispering to Latia. 1 out of 4. Oh well. Latia tried not to laugh. Jarlin continued. All clerics of Suez dress properly. We are all committed to the utter destruction of evil wherever it may lie. When we heard about what was happening here, I and my 2 associates traveled in a caravan to help fight this evil. We've searched for others to join our cause, but so far to no avail. Lightmane. We were told another adventuring party arrived here a couple days before us. Were you not able to team up with them? Jarlin. I was not aware of another. We've been quite busy around here lately, so we must have missed them. But now we are ready to head out to the Valley of Caves. Lightmane. Valley of Caves. We've heard of them. Do you know where they are located? Jarlin. Indeed we do. We have only just recently learned of their whereabouts. Lightmane. Really? Through what means? If you don't mind me asking. Jarlin. Why, not at all, good elf. Lightmane was seriously questioning the legitimacy of this man, but wasn't about to let him see that in his eyes. As a priest of Suez, it is my duty to seek out evil wherever it lies. That is, we, have been searching for its whereabouts for many days now, and finally we have uncovered its location. Lightmane. Yes, but my question was, how did you discover its location? Jarlin, looking slightly annoyed. Why, through magic, of course. Lightmane. I see. So divination magic, I assume, is what you mean. What spells did you employ to acquire this information? Jarlin, now looking more annoyed. I fail to see the relevancy of your line of questions. We have found its location. Should we not all be heading there now to confront this evil that threatens this keep and the people who live here? Is that not your sacred duty too? Nightwind, his eyes widened with excitement. Valley of Caves. They know where it is. I say we head out as soon as we can. At Nightwind's words, Jarlin smiled. Lightmane. Yes, as soon as we can. But at the moment, we cannot. Nightwind. What? Why? Lightmane. As you already know, we have other business to attend to. Nightwind. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, the hermit? We were only going to look for him to see what he knew. This man knows where the caves are. Lightmane, giving Latia a look. No, Nightwind. I guess Latia hasn't told you yet. There are still a couple things that we have to take care of, but once we are ready, we will most assuredly head out for that valley. Jarlin. And just how do you plan on doing that exactly, since you have no idea where it is? Lightmane. Why, with you, Jarlin, of course. At Lightmane's words, Jarlin's eyes lit up, and he smiled again. Then we, will be anxiously awaiting for when we can all depart together. We are staying at a large private apartment just on the other side of these buildings, the one with the door on the east wall. The other one, on the north wall, is the private quarters of a wealthy jewel merchant who will gladly buy and sell some of your treasures for you, when you find some, that is. If we are not there, we will either be in the temple, the tavern here in this lovely fountain square, or walking around, talking with the locals, as is our other duty, for Suez is servant to all who are good and decent, that is. Until then, we bid you good day. Jarlin and the two acolytes departed and continued walking around the square. Nightwind. What are these other plans? I don't like not being informed. Latia. There are no other plans. Lightmane was stalling. Nightwind. What? Why? Tenneth. Yes, why? He's a priest. That's the title of one who's achieved the third progression. We could use a priest right about now, let alone 2 more acolytes to cast Cure Light Wounds, Bless, Curse, Protection from Evil. Need I go on? What's wrong? Lightmane. I don't trust him. Tenneth. Why? Lightmane. I'm not sure, but he sounds a little phony to me. I've heard of the god Suez. Don't know anything about him, but his words just didn't sound genuine to me, nor did his eyes. Phileas. I kind of agree with Lightmane. Latia. So do I. He almost seemed a little too nice, did he not? Shinfia. Well, when he said how hot you are and then noticed me, he quickly adjusted. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now I wonder if that's just how he operates. Smooth, but full of it. Nightwind. What? What are you all talking about? He complimented both of you on your looks, which, in case you haven't noticed, just about every human male does. He then said how he's here to defeat the evil. Now let me know if I'm wrong, but I thought that's why we're here too. Then he says he knows that there are caves in a valley, and he knows where they are, and he's been looking for a party of adventurers to join, to go fight the evil, and you all are saying you don't trust him? What, did he have to spit on the ground a few times to make you feel better about him? He's a cleric. Why would you expect him to sound like everyone else? Clerics tend to talk differently. If you haven't noticed, they're influenced by their deity's personality, it would appear. Teneth. Well, you're right about that, Nightwind. Clerics of different deities are all quite different in how they speak and carry themselves, to be sure. That's probably just the way of Suez. He's committed to the destruction of evil. Sounds like our kind of guy, even though I'll admit he's a little over the top. I guess you could say. At that, Lightmane looked at Teneth. Yes, Lightmane, I saw that personality in him too, no doubt. But I'm willing to take the chance and team up with him. What do you say? Lightmane thought for a moment. I say we think it over, and while we're thinking it over, we go try to find this hermit fellow first, and see if he knows anything else that might help us. Latia. I'm with Lightmane. Who else is? Jack, Phileas, and Shinfia raised their hand. Belfin. I'm kind of in the middle on this, but I think we already have a majority. Nightwind. Fine. But if this man turns out to be legit, you might want to consider apologizing to him. Lightmane. For what? I haven't accused him of anything. Yet. Sheila. Are you having fun? Bale almost jumped out of his chair. Oh my goodness, you scared me. I didn't see you walk in. Yes, I'm having a blast. By the way, the scrolls on that wall with 7 spells on them. How many of those scrolls do you have exactly? It looks like a few hundred or more maybe. Sheila. 499. Bale, shocked at the number. 499? Wow, that's unbelievable. I'm curious, though. You didn't feel like you should make one more and have a nice, even 500 scrolls? Sheila. Oh, no. No way. Bale, confused. Okay, I'll bite. Why? Sheila. Because 499 is a prime number, of course. Bale, now totally confused. What's a prime number? Sheila. A number that is only divisible by itself in the number 1. Bale thought about that for a second. No other number divides into 499. Sheila. Nope. Bale, still thinking it through. So prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by the number itself and the number 1, correct? Sheila. Correct. Bale, shaking his head now. How, in my 50 years of life, did no one ever teach me about prime numbers? I'm a wizard. Numbers are fun. I like math. How is this possible? Sheila, sounding shocked. I don't know. That's really bizarre. Bale. Well, I know all about numbers that are only divisible by itself and the number 1. It's just I've never heard anyone refer to them as prime numbers before. Sheila. It's not a term used in Forestera, at least not that I know of. Bale. Who told you then? Sheila. The wizard that I trained with for about 10 years. He taught me many things that I had no knowledge of. It was one of the most amazing times of my life. I think I acquired more knowledge in those 10 years than in all my other years of living combined. Bale. Wow, you acquired knowledge from a wizard? Sheila. That's right. Bale. I'm a wizard. Was he a wizard just like me? Sheila. Yes, he was, but he was a little more powerful than you are. Bale. I see. Of course he was. I'm sorry. I'm just amazed at all the knowledge and wisdom that you possess, though I obviously shouldn't be, yet I still am. Every day I'm here with you, you show me something different. I've learned more in our short time together than maybe all of my years of study. Sheila. Aw, listen to you, being all kind and sweet now. Bale. I'm serious, Sheila. You've taught me a lot. Why, at that moment, a thought popped into his head. Wait, why does it being a prime number matter? Sheila. Huh? Why does what matter? Bale. You said you stopped at 499 because 499 was a prime number. I'm very intrigued by this. I know there's something very significant here that I just don't understand yet. So please tell me, what is the significance of stopping at 499 scrolls and not 500 because 400 is a prime number? What does that mean? Excitement flooded through his mind and body. He was getting goosebumps at this new knowledge that Sheila was now going to share with him. Sheila. Oh, that. Well, there isn't any. I just like prime numbers. she said, smiling.